What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to do something we have done already in the past, but it is going to be completely different items than we did then, okay? We're going to be talking about cheap items that everybody can benefit from, or things that every player should probably buy at some point. These are going to be cheap items that are incredibly useful and you can take advantage of. So hopefully you do enjoy. If you do, then do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you enjoy the music in the background, then there is a link to my music channel in the description as well. Without wasting more time on the intro, let's go. Okay, quick heads up before we start in the first one. If you can hear my fan in the background, I apologize. It's 9 PM and it's still nearly 30 degrees, which isn't good for me. I know there's going to be people in the comments saying 30 degrees, that's not even hot in it. What are you complaining about? Degrees Celsius for one, and two, I'm in the UK. We have 25 degree summers, so frick me, man. Anyway, enough complaining, let's go. The first one, let me put my pin in, is going to be using green blubber jellyfish instead of blue blubber jellyfish when you can do bosses and not really touch your food. To be honest, I should probably update my Raksha preset to take blues off and put greens on. The reason being is green blubber jellyfish actually heal 500 per bite. We're not going to see that because I'm on full health, but the blue blubbers heal 750 per bite. Now, it's not a huge difference, but the price difference is pretty big, and now that I've eaten one, I can't actually show you. So if we examine the blue blubber jellyfish, you can see it's around about 6.1k. 6.1k for one food. What the frick? And examine this. Oh, we dropped it. And examine this. It is 387 GP. 387. So in boss fights where you are using blue blubbers already, if you don't actually end up using all of your food, or you end up having a little bit less left, then bring greens instead of blues, because there's a good chance you're just not going to need the blues. Like I can change it at Raksha, I can probably change it at ED3, I can probably change it at a lot of places where I use blue blubbers. So that's why I would suggest bringing these. Also, of course, if you are still using like rocktails and stuff, yes, they are technically cheaper. I believe these are probably like 4k. They're 1.7k, hell of a lot cheaper. But the blue blubbers do not cost any adrenaline when you actually use them, so you do end up actually saving quite a lot of adrenaline, which translates into DPS, which is why you want to use those and probably why they're so expensive. But yeah, if you can replace them with the green blubbers because you don't use as much food anywhere, then you definitely should do this, because that is an expensive bite, dude. That is 2k per bite. Well, 2k gone, 2k gone, and now we're poor. All right, let's move to number 2. The next item that everybody should use to save yourself some time, and it's just incredibly convenient, that usually saves time as well, is called a Whetstone, with an H. W-H-E-T-S-T-O-N-E. You can use these to repair some gear directly from the bank. So if I want to repair, say, do I have anything in my gloves here? I can use this on the gloves without going to a repair stand, without going to my player-owned house, without going to Bob in Lumbridge, and it will say pay 82,500 GP to fix. I'll say yes. It'll use one Whetstone, which do cost around about 20k each apparently. And that's it. It's completely repaired. It saves you from going there, and hey, it's just incredibly convenient. If you end up banking and you notice your preset doesn't load something because you've ended up leaving your gloves to actually break or something, then you don't have to worry about it. You can just grab these at your bank, repair that nice and quickly, and get yourself back to your boss. When I found out about these, I was, whew, these are good. These are incredibly good. Anyway, number 3. The next item is for you people that are still using the old god books, or maybe using scrimshaws. Maybe it's for low level players more than anyone else, really, because quite often I get the question of what god book should I get? Honestly, if you aren't sure and you really don't have a preference yet because you're maybe a low level player, then a jazz book is probably going to be for you. The reason being is the jazz book is incredibly useful in a lot of places. For example, at Raksha with ranged. Obviously, if you're going to be on a staff of Armadillo with magic, then you're grimlocked. I believe the new bow and stuff, you're grimlocked. But you're a high level player, you're not too worried about it at that point. But a good book for starting out for many players, and then just it's still good in a lot of situations. I still use this book in loads of places. Is the Book of Jazz. The reason being is the Book of Jazz itself is around about 7 mil. It will probably buy for about that. I'm not going to do it because I've only got a 9 mil cash stack, but it will probably buy for around that, I'm pretty certain. As for the actual pages, 32k each, and they will probably buy for that too, and maybe even a little bit less. 31.1k each for these pages. Incredibly cheap upkeep for this book, and it is so freaking good. If you use it in certain situations like at Karapak, like at Raksha, all these sort of places it's really good at, and honestly it's so cheap, and the upkeep is ridiculous to run. It's something that I would recommend that everybody grab, even if you're not sure whether it's going to be worth it eventually. Because eventually, yes, you're going to want a book of full, but the book of full is incredibly expensive, sitting at around about, the scripture of full is 424 mil, and that's probably not even accurate because it's such a high value item. The book of when is 86 mil, so as you can see, the book of jazz is a hell of a lot cheaper. So I would suggest that you do grab one if you're not sure what book to get yet, as it is going to be better than pretty much all of the other standard god books. This next item is a melee item, and it is going to increase the amount of damage you can deal, and it is basically a buff that you can use in many situations. You are going to want to take into account your accuracy. I do believe any meleeers in chat, you can absolutely tear me to shreds and correct me on this one to make sure the correct information is given, but the Dragon Battle Axe special attack can be used for 100% adrenaline. So before you enter a fight, you can bring this with you, charge your adrenaline here to 100%, make sure it's equipped, and then you can use the special attack right now. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to increase your strength level. However, if you're overloaded, you won't notice a difference, I do believe. The reason you use this is because you get a hidden buff. The hidden buff is going to take away 10% accuracy, but it's also going to give you a damage boost as well, a damage output boost, which you absolutely want to use. This also stacks with your Berserk and your Zaros Godsword, I do believe, so you are going to get a decent amount of damage increase from this. You are going to want to then charge your adrenaline again, of course, because it costs 100%, head into the boss that you're going to be using this for, and you can enjoy a 60-second buff to your damage. Now, of course, if you are losing accuracy hit chance, then you're going to want to make sure that this is worth using, because if you're splashing, I'm assuming that it's not going to be worth using in all situations. But again, meleeers, let me know. I would be very grateful. If there's anything wrong here, correct me in the comments. I will pin it, and that's the best way to go. This next tip is going to be able to give you a pretty decent health boost, and it's something that you could probably save over your banking preset, and it's not going to be that expensive to take advantage of. As you can see, I'm wearing some pretty interesting gear here. I'm using the Rune armor +5, which is going to need level 90 to equip. However, if you are someone doing PVM and you do use your bonfire, you can actually get a high health boost from using tank armor that does have a life bonus. Now, the Rune armor +5 gives the same health bonus as Crypt Bloom armor, and of course the Reef Walker cape as well is also going to add to that, as it does give another 200 as well. Now, when you use the bonfire, this is going to increase your health cap by quite a bit. So at the moment, as you can see, if I take all of this off, you're going to see that my health goes down to the 9,900 that you're used to. Once we put this on, we use our bonfire and we warm our hands here, we're going to see our health jump up to a lovely 12,705. However, if we grab ourselves now our DPS gear by loading one of our presets, you're going to see that our health is still higher than it would have been if we just used bonfire without the actual tank gear. So it is something that you can do. Chuck it on your banking preset, use it on here, and you will get a percentage increase based on your actual current health when you apply the bonfire. Whereas if you do this with just the DPS gear, your increase will not be as high as it was using that tank gear. The next super cheap item, which is pretty useful for everybody to have, is going to be the Karapak Wristwraps. Now, I have quite a few of these in my backpack, or my bank even, not my backpack, what the frick. Because the Karapak in hard mode was just a little bit of a, you know, it's fine. But anyway, you can get yourself one of these for way less than 2 million GP. I'll go ahead and sell one of these and see how much they actually go for. But these are best in slot in many situations, except for the upgraded version, of course, and Cinderbanes if the target can be poisoned. But if there's a boss that you can walk, then these are absolutely worth using on, because it increases the damage on your bleed, and it also applies the damage instantly as well. So these are very useful in certain situations. Oh, they sold for 2.9 mil each. They have gone up compared to what I would normally used to, but 3 million GP for pretty much best in slot gloves outside of Cinderbanes for magic is absolutely worth your time and money to invest in these. Like I say, these work best on targets that you can use the bleed on and walk them and have them walk and increase the damage, as they are going to increase the damage that Combust does as a whole. If you use Dragon Breath first, when you use Combust, it will trigger all of the damage instantly rather than the bleed, and if you use Combust first and then Dragon Breath afterwards, you can then trigger it all as soon as you use Dragon Breath. All of the Combust hits will hit at the same time as well. So they are incredibly useful, and in some situations they are going to increase your damage a hell of a lot and be best in slot, except for the upgraded versions, which are a lot more, but these are 3 million GP, definitely worth grabbing a pair. The next item we are going to talk about doesn't actually include GP, it includes Dungeoneering tokens. So you will need to have some Dungeoneering tokens for this, but if you are someone who runs Elite Dungeons, which is where these are going to be useful for, then you will probably have plenty of Dungeoneering tokens to actually take advantage of. So what we are talking about is the lucky charms that you can buy from Brill Thox. This person here, you can buy them from this person, come to consumables, and in here you can buy the lucky charms. So you have the lucky charms for the Temple of Amanishi, the Dragonkin Laboratory, Shadow Reef, and the Zamorakian Undercity. ED 1, 2, and 3. What these do is, if you have them in your inventory, they stack, by the way. So if I buy 10 of the ED 1 ones, for example, they will stack in the inventory, so you only need one inventory slot. Take some of these along with you, and they will get converted into other rare drops, basically, as you run the dungeon. The bosses can drop stuff with these, the regular trash mobs can drop stuff with these, and it can increase the drops that you get for certain things in the dungeon as well. So it is absolutely worth taking some of these along with you when you do ED 1, 2, 3, or ED 4 now as well, as they are going to get you some extra rare drops, increase your GP per hour just a little bit as well for taking up one inventory space. And if you are like me and you have 5.2 million Dungeoneering tokens and you're not sure what to do with them, then hey, you know what? You can just spend it on these. Anyway, that is going to bring us to the end of this video, and hopefully you have found something in this list that is going to help you out when you are playing the game, and it's not going to cost you too much to do so. There's lots of little useful things in here. In fact, I learned quite a little bit while going through this video myself, for being the tank armor while using the bonfire as well. It's absolutely pretty, like a pretty cool little neat trick that I had no idea about. So if you didn't know anything, let me know in the comments which one you didn't know. And if you did enjoy the video, did find it useful, do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Other than that, channel members, thank you all so much for your extra support. Your names will be on screen right now, of course. And otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.